Shalom, this is Parsha Wisdom from YCT. I'm Rabbi Dov Linzer, and this week's Parsha, a major theme is death. It opens, the name of the Parsha is Vayechi, and Yaakov lived, but ultimately it is about Yaakov passing, and it's about Yaakov preparing for the future. The Parsha opens that Yaakov knows he's going to die, and he calls Yosef and he says, I am going to lie down with my fathers. I want you to take care of my burial arrangements. I want you to promise me that you will take me back to the land of Canaan and bury me there. And that is a profound moment. It's a moment we find throughout Tanakh, that when various people know that they are about to die, they prepare for that death. They give instructions about how to handle affairs after they're no longer around, how to bury them. They care enough about what's going to happen to them and about the people they're leaving behind to make sure they give clear instructions for the future. And this actually is something that is highly relevant today. It is about healthcare proxies. It is about letting our children know and us asking our parents to let us know about what it is they want when they are, God forbid, sick, when they are dying, when they cannot articulate their own needs and their own desires for themselves. In that moment, we need to act for them. We need to know their wishes. And most of us are very anxious and hesitant to raise this issue with our parents because we're afraid that the response will be, what, are you waiting for me to die? We say there's plenty of time to have that conversation. And then before we know it, it's too late. When the Parsha opens and Yaakov is planning for his death, that's not actually the period when he's about to die. Only afterwards he gets sick and then he gives his children a blessing. And we need to care and love our parents enough that we can go and say to them, Mom, Dad, I hope you live to 120 years. But we're all going to die. And I want to know what your wishes are and how I can ensure that you are taken care of at those moments. And if we're able to have those conversations, then our parents, by agreeing to have that, will relieve us of tremendous weight and anxiety and the sort of moral responsibilities to try to guess at what their desires are. And we will help them by being able to do for them exactly what they want. You know, I've read that right now in the advent of the coronavirus, that people are actually in a terrible situation because if they do not leave a DNR and their parents have the virus and are dying, then the healthcare professionals are completely paralyzed, or they're completely in a quandary because without a DNR they have to try to resuscitate. But that's a terribly violent act that you're doing to the person. The likelihood that that will succeed is tiny and is extremely tiny, and it's highly dangerous to those healthcare professionals. And if we had had that conversation, we probably would have understood that that's not what our parents want. Now, God willing, our parents won't get sick with the virus, but it could be anything, and it could hit suddenly, and we're not prepared to deal with it, because just a few minutes ago, a few days ago, they were looking totally fine. That's our responsibility to them, and their responsibility to us. It is a tremendous act of loving, and if we do this, then we'll be able to move to the end of the Parsha, where Yaakov gives a blessing to his children, because that type of preparing for the future will truly be a blessing to us, and it will be a blessing for them. Shabbat Shalom.